Right, so of course, to know what our target audience was, we needed to go out there and make ourselves a target audience profile, knowing exactly who it was we were aiming for, so that we could, when we were making our production, think about this and tailor the production towards our target audience. So first we took a look at the target audience demographic. So first we looked at the class, race, age, gender, that sort of thing. So first for class, I mean, it's pretty much all classes, because pretty much everyone has been exposed to video games at some point, and even if, you know, you're really lower class, most people have still played a game at some point in their life. So that's kind of, you know, we're aiming for all classes. This will be entertaining to the rich and the poor and the middle. Now when it came to looking at race, I mean, this is any, because what race you're from really doesn't affect whether or not you play video games, therefore it's not going to affect whether or not you're interested in a film about video games. But all ethnicities are likely to enjoy video games, and it's not your ethnicity that's a factor as to whether or not you do enjoy video games, and that's exactly the reason why. So when it came to looking at age, I mean, it's mostly going to be mid-teens to early 30s, so probably like 15 to 30, because that's when you're most likely to be playing video games, and therefore that's the people who are going to kind of want to be involved with our production the most. They're the people who are going to want to see it the most, because that is kind of your prime time for when you want to be gaming. Now gender, now it's stereotypically considered that men play video games more. When it comes to scientific studies, it's actually kind of a bit more 50-50. Of course, we can't judge that for everywhere because it's different all around the world and different for every place you would actually sample from. So realistically, you know, it's going to be made for both genders, because it doesn't really make a difference whether you're male or female. As long as you enjoy video games, you're going to like this production. So when we take a look at the target audience's psychographic profile, now our target audience may like sci-fi films, and that would be great if they do, because we're going to have a lot of sci-fi looking elements to our film, but the most important thing is that they like games and they're interested in games, and any films based around games, such as Pixel, any films where the main character's a gamer, anything like that, that's the sort of thing we're looking for. The people who are going to want to see games, they're going to want to like games, films about games. The main reason for this is going to be because they're going to be looking for their favourite games to be in the films, so they're going to be wanting to spot out their favourite games, their favourite references, anything like that. That's going to be what they're going to be looking for in this production, and that's why they're going to be interested to come and watch it. However, it's not only going to necessarily be gamers who are interested in this production, because people are going to recognise some of the games in it, because there are some games that are known worldwide. And also there's going to be a lot of comedy aspects in our film. Well, that's what we want it to be. We want there to be a comedy aspect to our film. Pretty much everyone likes comedy. If you don't have a sense of humour, or you have a cold heart, and you also don't like video games or don't like sci-fi, this isn't the film for you. But other than that, as long as you like either comedy, games or sci-fi, then this is a film that you might at least enjoy some aspects of. The game should also bring in target audiences who are interested in newer or older games, as it should feature both. It's going to feature both the retro old classics, like hopefully Pac-Man if we actually get around to doing that, or even newer stuff like GTA, Skyrim, those sorts of games. So it's pretty much any gamers. It doesn't matter what sort of games you're into, you should enjoy this production. Right, so the reason this production should bring in a pre-sold target audience from games is because gamers tend to be excited about new releases. For example, Assassin's Creed Unity, which came out, I think, back in 2014, that had an absolutely huge amount of hype going for it. Everyone was really excited to see this production, or the game even. Everyone really wanted to get the game, play the game. It was going to be the biggest game pretty much ever, before it turned out to be a total failure. But even then, even though Unity was such a failure, their next game, Syndicate, still had so much hype going for it. So gamers always tend to be excited about new releases, so hopefully if we can bring in teasers or something like that about newer games, or even from older games, people are going to want to see those teasers, people are going to want to know stuff, they're going to be interested in the new release of a film about games, so that should work in our favour. Now in terms of NRS grade, the class is going to be looking at our C1, C2 and D. This is because these are the most likely people to play games, because they are what you'd consider your average sort of gamer person. Now in terms of usage and gratification theory, this should be effective, because our film would be full of action and it will have a lot of aspects of comedy, and this will make the film entertaining for the audience. Now in terms of personal integrative, the target audience, which is the gamers, should be able to identify with the main character, as he will want to be immersed in games so much that he ends up being teleported into them. Now in terms of a secondary audience, I think younger people, probably boys most likely, as younger girls are obviously more likely stereotypically to be, you know, to not be playing games. I mean, they're not necessarily, but that is the stereotype right now. But it'd probably be younger boys, the ages from 8 to, 13-ish. And this is because they are becoming more interested in video games, and that is probably because their parents are now playing video games more, because their parents will now have been around in a generation where video games were just becoming a thing, and therefore they are still playing video games now.